Hello, I'm here. Oh, hello. Look at the hair today. I just got out of the shower and blow dried this, and this is what happens on day one with my hair. I said I'd get started at noon my time, which is in 3 minutes. So I will get started at noon my time in 3 minutes. But until then, we'll just kind of yak for a second. Hello, everybody. If you can hear me, please let me know. I'd love to know if you can hear what I'm actually saying. And I'm going to try to keep this thing kind of out of the way. I don't know if you guys may have noticed or not. Maybe not, because it was like a month ago, but I kept bashing into this thing. So I'm going to try to keep it out of the way. Thank you, Diana, for letting me know. Thank you, Cheese. Hello. Hi, Daisy. Hi, MM. Thank you, Jana. Oh, my goodness. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, let me know what time it is where you are. I've been playing around a little bit with the idea of what time is a good time to do a live. And because a lot of people are coming from all over the place, it helps me to kind of understand where you're from and what time it is there. So if you want to drop that in for me, that would be great. And then also, if you've got questions about the law of attraction, get them ready because we're going to answer some questions today. Very good. 10:58 in Austin, Texas. Creative motivation. Thank you. 11:58 in Atlanta. Pedro, you and I are in the same time zone, aren't we? Hi, Janice from Nova Scotia. 1 p.m. Very good. Scott's in Orlando. Hey, you're like an hour away, Scott. How's it going? Noon on the East Coast. California, 8:59 a.m. Very good. Hello, Diana. Hi, T-Docs. Okay, so Manchester, England is 5 p.m. Very good. Marissa, when are you getting on Clubhouse? What's Clubhouse? Do I not know something? What's Clubhouse? If you know what she's talking about, I would love to know. Hey, it is 12 o'clock, and we are going to go ahead and get started with this live Law of Attraction live stream. And I'm here to answer your questions about the law of attraction. So get them ready. Feel free to put them in the chat. One thing I would like to make a note of early, because I didn't last time and I could see this was becoming kind of a distraction. If you have a question, you can write down as many questions as you want, okay? But if you have a particular question, just write that one question down once. Okay, resist the temptation to cut and paste 400 times because it distracts me. And also because I scroll up and down through the chat looking for the question that's calling me at the time. So even if I answer somebody's question that looks like it's after yours, I still may very well go back and answer yours because I definitely kind of scroll through and see which one grabs me. Okay, so if you've got a law of attraction question, please go ahead and throw it into the chat. But just put that one particular question one time. Okay. You can ask a different question. Different questions are fine, but resist that temptation to cut and paste. And I would also like to say thank you to Kevin for being my moderator again today. Thank you so much, Kevin. Kevin's always helping me out. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's get started. What we got here? 10 a.m. in Calgary, Canada. 7 p.m. in Bulgarian. Let's see. Marissa, I need to get on what? Clubhouse? Clubhouse speakers community. Oh, I guess I should know about that. Very good. Almost 5 p.m. again in the UK. Greece, 7 p.m. Roxanne, 9:30 p.m. in India. Okay, so pretty late, but not too bad. Very good. Let's see here. All right, so let's just jump right on in with a question. How about this one? And again, I scroll up and down, okay? So I may come back to ones before it. T-Docs, what is the best way to avoid giving desperate energy when trying to manifest something? Well, good for you for understanding that that's what we want to try and avoid, right? Desperate energy, desperate energy always just pushes things away, right? So the more that you think that you need it, the more you're really saying, I don't think that I have it. And if what you're really saying underneath everything you're doing is, I don't think that I have it, well, the law of attraction is going to match you and push it further and further away. And so, one of the easiest things that you can do is really just distraction. Distraction. What I like to think of this is staying in the present moment. When we're getting desperate, okay, when we're thinking too much, and we all have these moments, right? When we start clinging to something that we want to happen, we get out of the present moment and we start thinking about, is it happening yet? When is it going to happen? And we forget that there's a present moment going on right now. Okay. And so, one of the easiest things that you can do is train yourself to be present. A nice question I always like to ask myself to stay present is, what can I do right here and right now to make the most of this moment? Right? What can I do right here and right now to make the most of this moment? So if my mind has gone out to a manifestation that may be materializing in the future or somewhere else, or maybe this afternoon, I bring myself right back here. Okay, well, that's going to happen when it happens. Right now, how do I optimize this right now moment? See, there's no sense in dwelling on and focusing on things that are not in your present moment because that takes you out of your ability to really capitalize on making the highest vibration right now that you possibly can. So what I would recommend for you to do, T-Docs, okay, is get in the habit of asking yourself that question on a regular basis. And when I mean regular, whenever you can feel yourself dwelling on something that isn't right here, right now, even if it's not a manifestation that you're feeling desperate about. But if you find your mind wandering into anxious territory, which allows things to come back in. All right. Are you guys getting this? I just got a little message here from YouTube, and my internet's good, but I just want to make sure you guys are seeing stuff because it said something that it's trying to reconnect. So if you're hearing what I'm saying right now, please go ahead and drop your thoughts. Kevin says yes. Mary says yes. Hey, Mary. How's it going, Mary? Mary, I'm going to add you as a second moderator. I'm sure she's fine with that. So we got Kevin and Mary moderating today. Okay, good. It's buffering, and it did disconnect for a minute. Yeah, I think that was a YouTube thing because my connection was fine, but I just wanted to make sure you guys are on. Looks like we're on. Let's keep going. Okay. Very good. Let me find something else. T-Docs, I hope you heard everything that I said. Let's see. Ooh, I like this one. Again, I'm going to scroll up and down. So even if this one came after your question, I may come back up and get yours. Okay. This one's from Giancarlo. How to push away a negative person or negative people. How many of you have had success? I want to know. I'm really curious. How many of you have had success in getting yourself away from negative people? How many of you have had that experience? And it being a conscious thing too. So you could tell that there was some kind of toxic influence or some kind of negative relationship, and you were able to remove yourself from that situation consciously. If you've done that, please drop below and let me know. And if you have any tips to share on that, drop them down there too. And the reason I'm saying this is I get a lot of questions about this. And so I know this is an area a lot of people are looking for extra assistance with. And so if you've got suggestions or if you've had success with that, drop it in the chat. Okay, so the first thing, Giancarlo, to understand about getting rid of negative people is that you cannot get rid of anything. And I don't mean that you can't align with a reality where that person is not existing, because you certainly can. But the path to that area is not in pushing against the other person, okay? Whenever we say, I don't want this here, I don't want this here, I don't want this here, I want this person gone, what we're really focused on is this person is here annoying and bothering me. This person is here annoying and bothering me. And so they have to continue to exist in a place where you are, which is annoying and bothering you. See, and you may have heard this before with the law of attraction. The law of attraction does not hear the word no. It doesn't hear the word don't. It doesn't hear the word not. All it hears is, what are you focused on? And in that moment, what you're focused on is, I can't stand this person and they're in my face. And so the more you want that person to go away, the more they show up. And so the pathway to the place where that person is no longer a player in your reality is not through actively trying to manifest them out of your reality, but rather it's actively trying to come to a place of peace with who they are and what they represent. And what I mean by that is not getting on board with their negative behavior. It's not about commiserating with them. It's not about spending time with them and trying to iron things out. No, okay. I wouldn't recommend that you seek this person out and try to become buddy-buddy with them. Absolutely not, because then you're really focused on keeping them active and present. But what you really want to try and cultivate is this feeling with anything that irritates you, people or otherwise, is that if it shows up, that's okay. If it shows up, there's a reason it showed up. If it showed up, it's teaching me something. If it showed up, it's helping me with something. So one of the examples I always like to give, and some of you may have heard of this one before, when you're driving and somebody's on your tail, or there's a traffic jam, or there's some situation going on in the cars that you don't like and it's irritating you. If you try to get those cars out of the way, like, get out of my way, I don't want these people in my way, the traffic jam will get worse. Okay. But if instead you make peace with the fact that it's here annoying you right now, and validate to yourself that there's a reason why this is happening. There must be a reason why this is happening. There must be a reason why I'm being slowed down right now. Maybe it's getting me to my stop on time. Maybe it's helping me avoid a problem down the road. Maybe it's giving me time to think about something I needed to think about. Maybe it's slowing me down because the party's actually going to start a little bit late, and this way I'm going to show up right on time. But try to validate that for whatever reason, this temporary, and it's a temporary annoyance is here to somehow serve me. And if you can train yourself to do that, and you can, what you will find is you stop pushing against the person. You're not actively trying to draw them in. You're just negating out how you feel negatively about it. And the person will just disappear. Now, with some people, it's harder than others, because it's hard to see how somebody who's been terrorizing you your entire life, how it's a temporary nuisance. Okay, so for longer standing relationships, it takes more effort on your part. And I don't mean challenge, I just mean more repetition. Like, you really have to get into the zone of, this person's here teaching me something. There's a reason this person's here. It's fine. You know, when I can get away, I'll get away. But right now they're here annoying me, and it's fine. Okay. The more you can do that, the less resistance you're going to pick up with that person, and the less you're going to keep them close. Okay. So it's like playing tug of war. You know, if they throw down the rope, you do not want to pick it up. Okay, because you're just drawing them further in. Oh, goodness. Diana, I agree with this. I made general peace with the idea of them being present in my life, and I feel like that's when they truly and politely exited my daily life. Such a good point. You know, if they are there to represent a struggle, and you're not going to struggle, they have no reason to exist there anymore. Okay, very good. Hello, Amanda. Sherry's had some success, but not for all negative people. That's okay. We'll give you a pass, Sherry. You know, some of them pop up for me too. It's fine. You know, they're there to look at it this way. You know, they're getting you sharper. You know, the further you go along with this, and the more times that you deal with negative people in your surroundings, the easier it gets for you to deal with it, the clearer the path becomes, the more positive of a person you become. And so I like to think of these people as, you know, they're helping me sharpen the saw, so to speak. Hi, Anthony. Anthony, any tips to shut your mind off before bed or throughout the night? Anthony, are you up all night? Before bed. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that I always mention this, but it's worth mentioning again, I really do like going to sleep listening to things that are soothing. Now, a couple of my favorites. I mentioned one of my favorites on the last call, I think, is an audiobook by David Hawkins called Letting Go. One that I've loved for years is A Course in Miracles, which is a very polarizing book. But both of those audios have very soothing messages. They're very the person who is speaking is very slow and deliberate. It's a very easy kind of voice to listen to and have a positive message, kind of a soothing, positive message kind of going on in the background that kind of lulls you to sleep. That's very, very helpful is to have something that you can listen to that helps kind of block out the anxious thinking that can be coming up. Something else that can be very helpful is also, if you've got young children, you may not be a fan of this idea too much, but if you can do some noise canceling, that can be great because it can shut out all of that external feedback that can get your mind racing. What was that noise? What was that dripping faucet? Oh my goodness, my husband's snoring. Oh my goodness, my wife's doing this. And you hear this stuff, your mind will start to think about that stimulus. So using some kind of noise canceling feature when you're sleeping can be very, very helpful. But really, what you're trying to do is work with momentum. So the law of attraction is always built on momentum. And so if we really get ourselves amped up with thinking, with focusing on projects, with focusing on things that are stressful, we will attract more of those kind of thoughts. Okay. And so it's really not in your best advantage as you get closer to the evening to engage in things that really tap you in mentally, because it's going to attract to you more thoughts for you to think of. So instead, you want to kind of gradually cycle down into not thinking so much, right? So we don't want to have political discussions with our spouse in bed, right? Rather, we want to kind of take it easy. So if you can gradually get yourself doing less, thinking less, by the time it's time to go to sleep, if you plug in something to listen to and use noise canceling, it will be very, very helpful to you. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, there's a really good one here, but for some reason I feel like Scott, I love your question, but for some reason I feel like I need to wait to answer it. I'm not sure why. Ooh, Conway. How do you manifest lucid dreaming? Well, I've never tried to manifest that, but and the reason I haven't tried to manifest it is because I had a lot of success doing it before I learned about the law of attraction. And we do manifest everything. Okay. So I did manifest it, but I didn't manifest it consciously. I manifested it before I knew what I was doing. And I have a really great resource for you. If you haven't looked into it yet, it's called Exploring the World of Lucid Dreaming by Stephen LaBerge, I believe. If you've read that book, let me know. But that's a book that I read in my mid 20s, and had a lot of really great suggestions on how to tap into lucid dreaming. And they work for me. I mean, it was wild. So maybe not a manifesting tip, but that book had some great suggestions. So if you're looking to lucid dream, I really recommend that one. Let's scroll through. I'm going to go back up. See if anything pops up here. Hello, everyone. Okay. I'm going a little further up because, again, sometimes I do this. I scroll up and down. Okay. So this is a question that came in earlier from Roxanne. I want to meet some potential partners, but not through dating apps. However, with the law of attraction, should I be open to different portals of meeting people, or should I just visualize how I want to meet someone? So one of the things that we want to focus on here with you, Roxanne, the word should, okay? always kind of makes things a little bit squirrely. Okay. We don't really want to be so focused on the methodology of how something comes through to fruition. Okay. So when we open up this question, I want to meet some potential partners, but not through dating apps. Okay. So, what we're doing in that moment, and I'm not sure why the dating apps are frustrating to you. You may have your reasons. I'm sure you do if you opened with it this way. Okay. But when we make a caveat to the universe and saying, it can't come this way, it can't come this way, it has to come that way, it has to come through this way. What we do, whether or not we realize it, is we block potential avenues from flowing through to us. Okay. Now that doesn't mean I'm telling you to go on a dating app. Okay. If you're not interested in opening up the dating app, you certainly do not have to. Okay. But what I hear in here in the second part of this question is, should I be open to different portals? Should I just visualize? Should I do it this way? What is the correct path to get me from A to Z? Okay. There is no correct path. There are infinite paths open. Your job is not to find the path. And I want to reiterate that to everybody on this call. Your job is not to find the path. Your job is to allow the path to call you. So there is a distinction. And so what I sense in this question is I'm standing here, right now, wanting to manifest a potential partner. And I'm trying to decide which road to go down. I'm trying to think my way through this. You do not want to think your way through it. Rather, your job is right now, really ever, always, get yourself into a higher vibrational state where you're feeling good and allow the path to call you. And the path may have nothing to do with dating apps or dating whatsoever. The path may be, hey, you know what, Roxanne? Today we feel like getting fried chicken at Popeyes. I don't know why, but for some reason, universe is trying to call me to Popeyes. I don't know why. Okay. Maybe you don't even like Popeyes, but for some reason, it feels like you're supposed to go. That could very well be the path to the partner. It could be a path to the money. It could be disguised in something as ridiculous as Popeye's chicken. Seriously, I don't know why I'm mentioning that. I think I was talking to a friend about chicken earlier, but don't try to worry so much about what the path is. Rather, your job is to get yourself into a place where you're feeling good about who you are. You're taking good care of yourself. You're loving yourself. You're enjoying your life as much as possible. And when the universe tells you to do something, and it'll give you ideas. It'll give you inspiration. Have the courage to follow that inspiration. Don't put it off. Don't say, you know what? Popeyes isn't on my diet. It's not close by. If for some reason you want to go. That's how the universe calls you into the things that you want. You do not need to figure it out in advance. Scrolling through. Okay. I hope I say your name right. Murali Krishna. Is the law of attraction scientifically proven? I feel it is, but not through like law of attraction science. You're not gonna see it like in a traditional high school textbook. That's for sure. But if you look into the world of quantum physics and what quantum physics has discovered about consciousness, about thought, about quantum particles, about entanglement, I'd say that very strongly suggests that yes, the law of attraction is indeed real. Now, another thing about science is in science, the big thing is nothing is actually proven. Things are only disproven. So for my true scientists out there who understand that you can't really prove anything, okay, I get you. But the science in quantum physics does absolutely suggest that your consciousness is what is creating your reality. Okay. So if you are looking for more scientific backing on the law of attraction, on consciousness, on all this kind of woo-woo stuff, definitely go looking into that world. It will be very helpful. Cake lover. What do you think about free will of someone else in your reality? Oh, I love this question. A lot of people concern themselves with this question. Let's say that I want to manifest a relationship with a specific person. Okay. Am I overriding that person's free will by attempting to manifest them into my life? Okay. Or, I'm trying to manifest a promotion from my boss. Am I overriding my boss's free will? This one segues real well with the quantum physics question. P.S. Some of you may understand why. But if I break it down a little bit more simply, the thing to understand about the universe is it's infinite. Okay. You are infinite. And that's a concept we as human beings have a hard time wrapping our minds around the idea of things being infinite. Okay. But there's more than just one you. There are infinite yous, and there are infinite other people. So if I want to manifest a relationship with some guy named Bob that I met at Popeye's Chicken, okay? There are many different versions of Bob. There is a version of Bob who wants to be in a relationship with me. There's a version of Bob who's married, and that's just not going to work. There's a version of Bob who doesn't like me at all. There's a version of Bob who, he's sailing off to Europe tomorrow, and it's just not going to work. So there are infinite versions of everyone that you meet. Okay. And so your job is not to override somebody's free will. Your job is to align with the version of that person who is in agreement with what you want. I hope that makes sense. Kristen, Dr. Joe Dispenza is great for learning about the science. Yes, he is. That's a great suggestion, Kristen. If you guys don't know Joe Dispenza, he's a good one. Look him up. He's all over YouTube and other places. Rick Rubin, is it possible to manifest while you are depressed? Well, first things first, you're going to be manifesting regardless. Okay. I think, you're just going to be manifesting more things you don't want, unfortunately, because when we're in a lowered vibrational state, and that's really what depression is, when we're in a lowered vibrational state, we will be matching up with things that reinforce that lower vibrational state. So when I am sad, I'm going to match up with things in my reality that keep me sad, to the point where you may actually find that it gets gloomy outside, or, your friends aren't calling you, or you get a cold. Like, all these different things will start to match up that will keep you in that spot. Okay. So what I would say is that, the other thing I would say, that I definitely want to say though, is that depression is not a static state. So, and I think a lot of times we hear this, or I don't think we hear this. I think we just assume this because we hear people have depression, right? Oh, I've got depression, or she's got depression. And so what we assume, I think that means is that that person is always depressed, but that's not true. Okay. You're not always depressed because your vibration is always shifting. So you may be hovering more in the depressive areas, but you're not stuck there. Okay. So the thing to understand about this is we want to just really work. If what you're dealing with is depression, really want to focus on the idea of how do we raise our vibration? That's the big focus. What can I do to raise my vibration? And a lot of it just has to do with where's my focus? Where's my focus? Okay. I gave a suggestion to my daughter the other day who was getting frustrated in a certain stage of her area of her life. And I'm not going to give too much details because I want to respect her privacy because she's 12 years old and you know how that goes. But was really kind of having this issue that was happening at the same time of day, every single day. Okay. And it had to do with some other people. And what was really going on was she was focusing on the other people and what wasn't going well with them. Okay. And allowing herself in that moment to divert her attention in that area. And so what ended up happening is her thoughts became more in alignment with what wasn't going right, what wasn't going right, what wasn't going right. And it was making her sad. It was making her feel not good. And so every single day she's having this negative experience and venturing into a lowered vibrational territory simply because she's focusing right here. Okay. So what we talked about is, okay, in that situation, let's just take the focus away from here and place it over here. What's something else she could be doing? Okay. So for her in that moment, she found that she could watch funny YouTube videos. Okay. So now what she's doing is during that exact same time of day, she's watching the funny YouTube videos rather than attending to this over here. and it's really helped bolster her mood. Okay. So, what I would love for you to do, any of you, if you're struggling with depression, please understand depression is not a static state. You're not stuck there forever. Trust me. Okay. If you know me for a long time, you know how many psychological issues I had coming into this. Okay. Trust me, as bad as it may seem, you are not stuck in depression. Your main objective is simply to move your focus to anything. I mean, literally anything that's going to bring you a sense of relief, that's going to bring you a little bit of fun, that's going to make you feel a little bit better, that's going to make you feel a little bit more relaxed. That's literally all you ever have to do. And so if you're struggling with depression, be doing those things because it will help raise your vibration. And then you will just start naturally manifesting things that you want rather than reinforcing your reality with things you don't want to see, which compounds the depression. Regina, do I use mantras? Oh, yeah. I don't really even think of them as mantras, but it's more like I've just conditioned myself to say positive things to myself. Or you know what? Like, here's one. This is a this isn't even, I mean, you think this is silly. Just tell yourself good job. Every time you do something well, tell yourself good job. Good job. Way to go, Andrea. Way to go, Regina. Good job. And condition yourself to just say that. That's a silly little mantra, but I'll tell you what, like that's a big deal. A lot of times we don't give ourselves enough credit for what we're doing right. We're so quick to tell ourselves what we're doing wrong. And that becomes a reinforced mantra. Oh, you're not doing enough. You're not smart enough. You didn't do that fast enough. Da, 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 da. Instead, every time you complete something, every time you do something even moderately well, tell yourself good job. Okay, that will help you feel better about what you're doing, and it will also reinforce the idea that you are doing a good job. Oh, hey, I got to plug something in here real quick, guys. I'm going to be doing some group coaching. I used to do one-on-one coaching with people kind of like this, but honestly, I had too many clients. And so I was always talking to people one-on-one and I never had time to do anything else. And so I stopped doing that about a year ago. And I've had so many people asking me about doing group coaching, which is why I started doing the live sessions so I could connect with people more. But I'm going to be doing some group coaching, some smaller sessions. If you are interested in signing up for one of those or just figuring out when I'm doing them and all the details, oops, that's not the right thing. Delete that. If you're interested in that, in figuring that out, learning about the group coaching, I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to that in the description of this video. And so if you'd like to get updates and figure out, hey, when's the group coaching? Can you sign up? I will go ahead and drop the link. I had the wrong link, so now I got to go find the right link. Okay, here we go. I don't know where that link came from. Where is the link? Here's the link. Copy. You think you have everything set up and then there you go. Okay. And then the group coaching would be on Zoom. So I'm just going to put for Zoom coaching info. There's a link. Okay. Friar, you do not need to apologize. Good to see you. Thanks, Mary. How to manifest? I don't know why, but I love this question. How to manifest a perfect routine? I think you probably mean daily routine, like a daily routine. I like to think of it as an evolving thing. So I love your question because I love routines. So I love constantly kind of evaluating how I'm moving throughout my day and how to optimize it. So I stay in the best possible frame of mind and things just really work well for me. But the thing about it is that it's an ever evolving thing. So again, like I was mentioning earlier, things are infinite, right? So there is no such thing as perfect, but it can get infinitely better. And so something I always really kind of like to recommend to people is always be looking for a way to make something better, how to make it more efficient, how to make it enhance it. Okay. So whatever routine you have, a really great question to ask yourself in the morning, in the evening is, how can I make this routine more efficient? How can I make it more fun? How can I make it better? And ask yourself that daily. You do not need to answer that question. Don't answer it. Just ask the question. How can I make this better? How can I make this routine more efficient? How can I make this routine more productive? How can I make this routine more happy, more fun for me? What will happen is that you will start receiving answers because for every question, there is an answer. And when you ask questions, the universe will deliver to you answers. Do not seek the answers, but just allow them to come. So you just ask the question and you will find that there will be answers that will show up. Okay, so for a perfect example of this question asking thing, my husband and I got some new patio furniture. Thank goodness, too, because we've lived here for 2 years and no patio furniture. We finally got the patio furniture. And we live in Florida and it rains a lot here. And so we needed to find a way to protect the patio furniture. And so there's cushions on top, and we didn't want the cushions to get all moldy and, first world problems, right? But anyway, wanted to figure out a solution for this. And the idea that immediately came to mind was to get kind of like a cabinet or some kind of container that we could put the cushions in. But for some reason, it just didn't seem like the best option. So I didn't pull the trigger on it, but it was in my mind that that's what we were going to be doing. But I tossed that question up to the universe. Hey, how can we protect this patio furniture? What would be the best thing to do? And I kid you not, it was yesterday morning. One of my good friends came up to me when we were yakking at the gym. And she brought up in conversation that there are companies that can, create coverings for your patio furniture. And I never even thought about that. And so I told my husband and he went out and found one and there you go. Okay. So I wasn't seeking the answer from her. The answer just came. And so that's really a great thing to be doing is just be asking those questions about your daily routines. How can I make them better? How can I improve it? Somebody that you know may give you a suggestion. You may read something. You may see something. Something may be on television, but you will start receiving answers to that question. Grunts. Love is a form of insanity. I'm not sure why you wrote that, but that makes me laugh. It kind of is. This idea that it's, oh, I'm in love with this person and it's just you and me and everybody else can go to hell. Yeah, I mean, it's a little crazy. It's nice to love people, but sometimes the way we construct love is a little cuckoo. Hmm. Shama, I am dependent on an unhealthy income source. How can I get off of it? There is a deadline as well. An unhealthy income source. You could use the same exact advice that you could give to somebody in a toxic relationship. Okay. Anything where you find yourself kind of feeling like you're dependent on something that you know is bad for you, you really have to start to understand that if it's bad for you, it's bad for you, and be willing to walk away. Be willing to walk away. I had a client once, a coaching client, who was struggling with work. Okay. Her boss, coworkers were jerks and just not a good environment for her. She wasn't happy. And really just kind of coached her into this isn't healthy, then you need to go. State your case and what you need. And if they can't do it, you need to go. And she stated her case to the job and they were unwilling to meet her on what she needed. So she left. And immediately, I mean, like within a day or two, I mean, it was like immediately got a job offer that paid her like 5 times as much money as the crappy job with the toxic people because she said yes to her health. She said yes to what was good for her. She said no to what was toxic. Okay. If you're telling yourself, I still need this, I need this toxic thing, you are abusing yourself. Now, I know, with money, sometimes that's easier said than done. I mean, we have obligations to our families. We have all this kind of stuff that's going on. But please do understand, if you found yourself in a really big conundrum where it feels like you desperately need something unhealthy for you, it means that for a very long period of time, you know that you need to cling on to something that's bad for you. And you do not. You never need to do that. And so more important now than ever to start to get yourself out of that mindset that you need it. Okay. So try not to life raft in life. Don't hold on to something that's bad for you because you're afraid of what's going to happen if you let go. The universe will reward you when you do what's healthy for you. And again, I know that that may be hard to see where some of us are, okay? But in my experience, and I've done this a lot, it is true. When you say yes to what's healthy for you, when you say yes to what's good for you, the universe will match you up with something that is healthier for you. Teresa, how to manifest a physical glow up. Oh, I like that one too. Okay, so all things are kind of on a continuum. Okay, so what I would look for there, if you're looking to enhance your physical appearance, there are a lot of different things that you could do, but just kind of like the question with the perfect routine. How can I enhance my beauty? How can I enhance my beauty? And allow those answers to come and execute on them. That's the big thing. So when you get an idea, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should go get that, maybe I should try this out, go execute on it. And that's actually something I wanted to mention inside of this session, because this is something that really kind of started for me around the time that lockdown began. Okay. And that was, I don't know, like a year ago. And I'm in Florida, so we really didn't do it big here. But I mean, we had like a real good solid month where it was really kind of scary where I live. Okay. Fortunately for us, it never really became too terrifying where we live. But there was suddenly this situation where we were, all kind of locked down and couldn't really go anywhere or do anything. And for me personally, that was challenging because I'm somebody who really, I mean, if there's one, everyone kind of values different things more than others. Some people value love, some people value money, some people value creativity. I value freedom. I want to come and go where I want to come and go, when I want to come and go. Do not tell me where to go. Like, do not tell me how to act. Like, I really value my freedom to come and go as I please. And so the whole concept of the lockdown for me was challenging because I really wanted to go places and do things, and I suddenly could not. Okay. And so in that moment when that was going on, I decided to just start doing more where I was. Let me start doing more where I am. If I'm here, I'm going to do stuff that I've always wanted to do, but I'm going to do it here. And so I started a new habit that when I got a good idea, I would execute on it quickly. So if I got an idea to improve something about my business, I would do it. I would just do it right then and there. If I got an idea to improve my appearance, I would do it. I would do it right there. And I started building momentum with this idea of following inspiration quicker because I had no other distractions. I couldn't go anywhere. And so if you fast forward to today, something that's really shifted inside of my personality from here to there has been when I get inspiration from the universe, I take action on it really, really quick, a lot quicker than I used to. And what this does is it allows you to accelerate in whatever area of life that you want to accelerate in quicker. So if you just start paying attention to your beauty and start asking those questions, what can I do to enhance my beauty? And as soon as you get a suggestion, take action on it. As soon as you get a suggestion, take action on it. The universe is going to send you more and more ideas. It's going to help you out more. It's going to improve different aspects of what you're looking to improve. And acceleration will occur because of momentum. So if you want to glow up, that to me, that implies fast, quick, get real keen on following that inspiration quickly. Danica, Aquarius. Yeah, I am an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius Sun, Mercury, and South Node. And my chart ruler is an Aquarius. So yes, you hit the nail on the head. Oh my goodness. Let's go looking for some more questions here, shall we? Luther Evans, how does healing from trauma change how one can manifest? Does it make it easier and change one's point of attraction? Yes, absolutely. And I think a lot of us in the spiritual community, if you're drawn to this kind of work, not all of us, okay? I know not everybody, but a lot of us are coming from some pain, okay? A lot of us are coming from some traumatic backgrounds. I know I did. I know a lot of people that I've worked with have. Okay. It's part of the reason why you're kind of drawn to this stuff. It's like you understand there's got to be a better way, right? I can't wallow in this anymore. This is killing me, right? And I think that leads a lot of people who are traumatized or who deal with abuse or anything like that to find and connect with spirituality, the law of attraction, metaphysics, consciousness, etc. Okay. Now, healing from trauma is, yeah, I mean, that's really the key. And it really does change your point of attraction. Absolutely, it does. And the big reason is that it gets you, once you're healed, it means you have fully stepped out of being a victim. And I know a lot of times we say, like I'm trying to slam somebody for calling them a victim. No, I mean, if you were abused as a child, you manifested into a victim perpetrator reality. That's what happened. Okay. Or if there was some kind of trauma that occurred, you manifested into a reality where you literally were a victim. Now, when we come out of a trauma, it's so easy to look at it and identify what was done wrong to us, how we were hurt, how we were abused, how we were taken advantage of. And it's so easy, even once the trauma is gone and done, to sit there and still feel victimized by that situation. Unfortunately, as long as we look back on what happened and feel victimized, the message that we continue to project on a reality is, I am a victim. And unfortunately, and I know this personally because I was the world's smallest violin victim of everything that had happened in my past for a very long period of time. And it continued to match up where I was put into situations where I wasn't getting the credit I deserved. I was being treated unfairly. I was being, abused, or there it just wasn't being treated very nicely by people. And it wasn't until I healed from what had happened in my past that I stopped projecting that message of I'm a victim on my reality, which meant that I was no longer attracting to myself situations that victimized me. So I know better than, well, maybe not better, but I know, like a lot of people probably on this thread, how hard it can be to forgive people and forgive situations and to get over the idea that you were victimized. I understand that because it's an uncomfortable thing to, have to let that go. But if you want to manifest a better life, it has to be done. It absolutely has to be done, not for the other person, not for the situation, but for yourself. My advice to the people who are against the law of attraction, well, they're not asking for my advice. um, Let them be. Yeah, I wouldn't. That's a good question though. Um, it isn't our job to change everybody's opinion. And if I need people that don't believe in the law of attraction to believe in it, why do I need that? I don't need them to change their mind in order for me to create my reality. Okay. This is an important thing to mention because sometimes there is that feeling like I need to convince my mom, I need to convince my dad, my friends think I'm crazy. No, they can think whatever they want. Okay. And so the way I like to think of it is we're all on a spiritual progression. They're going to get it at some point. When they're ready, we can chat. Maybe it's in the next lifetime. That's fine. Let them live their life the way they want to. If somebody wants to live the rest of their life in victim mode, if somebody wants to live the rest of their life believing that reality is just happening to them, okay, learn the hard way. That's on you. Let them do what they want. I wouldn't try to advise somebody who didn't want to believe in the law of attraction. I would just let them kind of be who you are. Know what you know. And if and when they're ready to hear the message, they'll show up. Love you too, Babu man. Thank you, Ahmed. Hello, Jason. Oh, just a quick heads up. I will be concluding this session at 1 p.m. my time, which is very likely not your time, but that will be in approximately 14 minutes. So until then, I'm going to answer a few more questions. So feel free, if you've got a law of attraction question, jot it into the chat. Bethany loves you. In one of your videos, you said you eat pizza and ice cream and maintain a fit body. Did you manifest the fat to just leave you, or did you manifest a gym membership? Hmm. I eat as I wish. So I don't really believe that. Well, food doesn't really matter. It matters insofar as much as what you think about it. So if you think that a food is going to make you fat, you're going to have a hard time staying slim if you eat that food. The way I like to look at food is I eat what's right for my body and I eat what my body wants to eat. And sometimes that's pizza, sometimes that's ice cream. In fact, very frequently that's pizza and ice cream because those are my two favorite foods. And yes, I did manifest a gym membership. I like the gym too. So I do work out, but I do eat what I want. Um, what works for me may not work for you, may not work for somebody else. But when it comes to getting into your fit body, it's about staying in alignment with what your body wants to be doing and treating your body with respect and loving your body enough to do what's appropriate for it. Sometimes that means giving yourself permission to eat things that you want to eat. Sometimes that may mean going to the gym if that's what you want to do. You're welcome, Teresa. Neha, how do you take the right decision? I'm at a crossroad between two choices in my life, and I love both of them, but how do I know which one is right and how do I accept it? Well, all paths can be the right path. So don't assume that there's one that's correct and one that's wrong because that's going to put you into a quandary about where you're going to go, what you're going to do, and it's going to immobilize you from moving forward. And the law of attraction really works well on speed. When you get inspiration, you take it. When you get inspiration, you take it. If you find yourself in situations in life where you're deliberating a lot, what you're not doing is you're not following inspiration. Rather, you're sitting there and thinking about trying to figure out what to do rather than allowing yourself to be led. And so it would be hugely helpful for you at this stage to really get behind the idea that, you know, it's good to just make a decision and get on board. So if it's a decision that needs to be made today, what do I feel like doing today? Go do it and let the chips fall where they may. You will be guided around whatever you need to be guided around. So if you were to make, let's say, the quote unquote wrong decision, even though it's not the wrong decision, the universe will circumvent you. It will provide you with new situations that will allow you to get back on track when you are in vibrational resonance with the outcome that you actually want. So it's not about the path that you're taking. It's about, are you in vibrational alignment with what the outcome is that you want? The way that you stay in alignment is by following the path and staying in a good psychological place. That's what you have to be doing. So deliberating really gets in the way of that because it slows down the momentum. It makes you start getting anxious, start worrying, drops your momentum, drops your vibration. And then when you finally make a choice, you're making a choice from this lowered state of anxiety and stress. Well, we don't want to make that choice because that's going to line us up with an outcome we don't like, which is okay. Because again, the universe can circumvent you and you can always get back to where you want to be. Instead, go into it with that understanding. It doesn't matter which choice I make. As long as I'm feeling pretty good about it, we can make it work. Okay. Try not to think that things are more than they are. A lot of times we have this big concept that, oh, there's a right and a wrong and a good and a bad and an evil and a heavenly. And any choice can work out for you. So don't take it as such a big choice. Just, this is the choice I need to make today. My gut's telling me this way today. So we're just going to go this way and figure it out as we go. I'm glad to hear it, Sherry. Thank you, Gaia. You're welcome, Neha. I found if I smile, people notice and smile back. MA. It's true. What you put on people, you're going to get back. You want more friends? Start being the first friend. It goes beyond smiling. You know, I was thinking about this today. A lot of times people are sitting back waiting for friends to come to them, waiting to get the invitation, waiting to be brought in. Be the first person. Be the one that makes the invitation. Be the one that smiles. Be the one that invites that person in. And do it just to do it. And if you make that habitual, what you'll find is other people start doing that for you naturally. They'll start smiling at you. They'll start inviting you. They'll start calling you. But make it your mission to be the first one to reach out. You're welcome, Bethany. Bethany loves you. That's a great name. Okay, Scott. You did ask a good question, Scott. Let me take a look. Okay, here it is. Is it possible to manifest in a global scale? Yes. Yes. All things are infinite, okay? There are infinite yous, there are infinite other peoples, there are infinite worlds. One of my favorite, and I've mentioned him before, one of my favorites channels is Bashar, who's an entity channeled by Daryl Anka. If you know who I'm talking about, shoot it below in the chat. Okay. But one of the things that he talks about is shift to the reality that you prefer. Okay. So there is a world that has your name on it, that has things in it that you want. It isn't your job to turn this world into that world. It's your job to move from this world to that world. So if this world has components that you do not like, that you do not approve of, that you're not interested in, that are bringing you down or whatever the case may be, it is not your job to go onto this earth and to force it to change. Rather, it is your job to elevate your own vibration, to get into alignment with the world that better represents what you want. Okay? So manifestation implies in many ways that we are actively changing things. But that's not what's really going on. Okay. What's really going on is reality is infinite. Consciousness is infinite. All things are possible. All things do exist somewhere in the matrix. Okay. They're all out there somewhere. Your job isn't to force any of them into place. Your job is to align with the ones that you want. The job is for you to get into vibrational resonance. So when you ask the question, can you manifest global change? You can, but you manifest it by matching up with it. I hope that makes sense. And I was mentioning before about lockdown. I'll mention it again because it's for some reason it's popping up for me. And this isn't lost on me at all. Like I said, I really value freedom. I really value freedom. And the idea of being caged did not sit well with me at all. So for me, I did my very best to stay as free as possible during that process. And I won't get into all the hows I did that, but I do think it's interesting that I live where I live because we had very little regulation. And I was really able to kind of come and go where I want. So the craziness was kind of going on out there, but the world I lived in was like insulated from it. Okay. And so in that way, I aligned with the reality that worked for me. I hope that makes sense. So it's not your job to change the world. It's your job to align with the world that works for you. I'm going to take one more question, guys. One more question. If you've got a good one, drop it in. Okay. If you've got a good one for me, I may take another one. I may take one that you put in right now. We will see. I'm going to take a second and just remind you that again, I'm going to be doing group coaching on Zoom. I haven't coached people live in a while. I stopped doing it because of time on my schedule. But I'm going to bring back group coaching via Zoom this month. So if you'd like updates on when I'm doing that, and so you can get a seat when they're available, I'm going to put a link right there. Sign up for the updates. All right, let's see. Questions. One more question. There's so many good ones. I'm trying to find ones that I didn't answer in the last live or the live before. I've done a few. Okay, so there's a good chance if I haven't done your question, I may have answered it in an earlier live. So definitely go back and watch those. Ba-da-ba-ba. Oh my gosh, I want to answer all these. I'm having a hard time picking one. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go with this one. Avon, I don't know how I feel about college. I want to do so many things, but the schoolwork I have to catch up with is hindering my success, I feel like. I don't feel free here. Tips. If you're in college, you're already there, I'm assuming. Okay. If you're in college, I would just see right now, I would see if I could enhance the situation. Not necessarily escape from it, but enhance it. Um, it may seem like what I'm not hearing is that there doesn't seem like there's an idea of what to do. So if you come into this question and it was saying, well, I'm in college and I don't really like it. What I really want to be doing is starting my own business. I'd tell you right here and now, just go do that. Okay. And again, it would be like that earlier question where sometimes we hold on to a life raft of something we don't really want to be doing um, because we're afraid of what's on the other side. If something isn't calling you, I would stay where you are and work to raise your vibration with the environment that you live in and see what happens. Okay. So, for instance, doing the kind of work that I do now, I didn't just jump into this. I was working as a teacher and I learned about the law of attraction and I thought it was really great. And I knew that I didn't want to be a teacher, but I didn't know what I wanted to be doing. So, because I didn't know what was calling me, I just simply did the raise your vibration thing. I worked to try and cultivate a higher vibration and more enjoyment where I was. And what ended up happening is I ended up getting an idea to start doing this. So, what I would recommend to you is try to find a way to optimize what's going on in your world. How can you enjoy your classes more? How can you enjoy your friends at school more? What can you do to enjoy exactly where you are exactly right now? And what will happen is your vibration will raise to the point where you will start getting feedback from the universe about what's the better step for you. Okay. When you get that feedback, then you take the leap. Now, again, if you already know what that thing is and you're just afraid to let go of college, please just let go of college. If there's something that you want to be doing, but you're staying over here because this is what I started, no, 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 that's not going to work because you're hanging in there with something you know that's not good for you. And that goes back to kind of that self abusive question that we talked about earlier. But if you don't know what you want to do, your main objective right now is to focus on improving your vibration with what you have. Okay. Just try to enjoy the experience more and you will get the inspiration that you are looking for. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It is 1:00. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you're interested in group coaching, I do have some updates coming for that. Make sure to check the link below. And if you are enjoying these lives, please let me know. If there's any questions that I didn't get to answer, you can still feel free to drop them either here or in the comments because I do love hearing what you guys want to know about. It helps me pick out video topics. It helps me know what to discuss in the next lives. So be sure to drop all that information for me. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your week. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye bye.